as far as I'm concerned, Raila Amolo Odinga has virtually clinched the job for the African Union chairmanship. The hurdles that were there a few days ago were cleared when the issue of the rotating presidency came up and the matter of a female candidate for the AUC job. So really, the only thing that stands on the way of Raila Amolo Odinga would be really an act of God. The conversation will change. Well, let me not use that. Let me not use cliches, because some of these cliches are quite abused in this country. And sooner or later, a lot of people will be discussing is how well will Raila Amolo Odinga do that job of AUC. As you know, the main role of AUC, the chairman, is actually the head of the secretariat. And Raila Amolo Odinga will not only be a representative in G7 and all international meetings, he will also be the person who actually ensures that there is peace in the continent, and he will be one of the main problem solvers. This is part of the reason why we were saying that Raila Amolo Odinga is better off doing the AU job than actually saying or playing local politics. But there are expectations. I expect that Raila Amolo Odinga will actually bring Africa to Kenya. As you are aware, Kenya, generally speaking, Kenyans concentrate on their own affairs. They don't even know what's happening in Uganda. They would only maybe once in a while discuss maybe the elections in Uganda, and then as soon as that is finished, Kenyans generally concentrate on their domestic politics. They are big, huge consumers of local politics and are really good participants in business and economics in their own country. So I hope that Raila Amolo Odinga will be able to bring Africa to Kenya, as in the politics of Africa now. You see, so that's one thing, an expectation that I have. There are people who are always, and I've always been talking about the ability of Raila Amolo Odinga to manage. You see, a secretariat is essentially administration. You'll not only be the representative of the African Union in various international forums, he will also be like the administrator, like the person who ensures that resolutions that have been passed by heads of states are implemented. Similarly, Raila Amolo Odinga will be expected to actually unify Africa and to solve problems. And as we speak right now, Africa has quite a bit of problems, like in the Horn of Africa, Somalia, like in DRC, Congo, like in issues to do with other parts of the world, Haiti. So Raila's big role will essentially be peacekeeping and development. Or my wish is that Raila Amolo Odinga does not go as usual with this status quo. The status quo, what I mean is, you would not know the difference between African Union today and African Union 20 years ago or 15 years ago. I would like to see a situation where the dream of Africa is realized without a lot of maneno. What is the dream of Africa is essentially cooperation, or even better, having United States of Africa. And talking about United States of Africa, maybe Raila Amolo Odinga would really want to focus on the relationship of Eastern Africa. The suspicion between Kenya and Tanzania, for instance. The issues that Kenya and Uganda has. The interaction of Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda, Congo, DRC, and all this in such a manner that the Eastern African bloc is essentially moving towards unifying the rest of Africa. These regional blocs are important, but as well, they can be a problem in terms of interacting with the rest of Africa. This position of AUC has generally been held, and is generally by Western Africa, a little bit by the North. So Raila needs to change this and bring Africa, like I said, to Kenya. The other thing that Raila Amolo Odinga has to know is that Africa, is the ambassador of Kenya in Africa. So Raila Amolo Odinga has to bring up or even go higher than the standards that we've seen from Western Africa. And that requires a lot of concentration. You see, so Africa has a lot that needs to be brought out to play its part, bring this continent to also play its part internationally. My question today to you is, what are your expectations about Raila Amolo Odinga? What do you think? How do you think Kenya will benefit when Raila Amolo Odinga takes the chairmanship, hopefully for 2 terms, of the African Union? I really want to hear your comment. I really want to hear what you have to say. Thank you very much for tuning in. Welcome to Talk to Africa. My name